Well, I hope we don't mix anything up in this review.
Welcome to Autobot Arcade.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Autobot Arcade here, bringing you another Transformers review. This time it's the Transformers 86 Constructicon Mixmaster. But before we get into the review, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Autobot Arcade and Autobot Arcade Reviews. But without further ado, let's get into this review. Starting off with the packaging, we have the regular Voyager class window box with some nice digital artwork on the front and the Transformers Studio Series logo down the bottom. On the first side of the box, there isn't really that much, there just seems to be some shadows that continue the image from the front of the box. On the back of the box, we have a picture of him in vehicle mode as well as robot mode and sporting his weapon. And on the final side of the box, we have a nice big digital render of the combined Devastator. And here he is out of the box. But before we take a closer look at him, who is Constructicon Mixmaster?
Mixmaster is the mad chemist of the Constructicons. He is notorious for his obsession with chemical processes, especially the breakdown and recombining of materials into new substances. He is often seen as unhinged, but is also very intelligent and can synthesize deadly compounds and acids in his mixing drum, ejecting them as weapons, giving him a dangerous edge beyond brute force. He is one of the Constructicons, a subgroup of the Decepticons that can form together to become the deadly Devastator, in which he usually becomes the left leg. He is built for tough industrial work, but is more than happy to take that toughness out onto the battlefield and get into the thick of the action, usually with a grin on his face.
And now let's really take a look at him. And starting off with a general look, he is mainly green, like all the Constructicons, but he does have a lot of purple on him as well. There's a lot of sculpted details all throughout, on the sides, the front, and on the back. But now, taking a closer look at him, starting up at the legs, we can see there is a lot of detail all the way around. However, the cab is just hanging out on the back. He doesn't really have too much of a backpack, but he does have this butt peg, which one of the other Constructicons also had. Not sure what it's for, but it does stick out a bit. He has a lot of nice detailing, as I said, all the way down. He has a nice Decepticon logo in the middle of his abdomen section with some nice black and red paint on the chest and some panel lines. There is this hood piece over him which is accurate to the show, but it is quite annoying trying to get in there to have a look at the head and position it, but it is detailed quite nicely, and getting a close look at that face, it is really nice. It's got black on it, it's got silver on it, and it's got red for the eyes, and it's quite a menacing face. But he's pretty clean all the way around. There could have been some more paint, I think, on him just to make bits stand out, because he is quite a bright green like all the Constructicons, and like with all of them, I do think a bit of paint could have gone a long way to helping with the look of these guys. But overall, he's a pretty nice figure, front, side to back. If we remove the mixer, there is even some sculpted line work underneath there as well. So if they can do this, why not just give us a little bit of extra paint just to highlight some areas? But overall, a pretty solid figure. As for accessories, we get these two. First up, we have his mixer, which we have already taken a bit of a look at in robot mode, but it does come separate. You can open it up in order to get the hopper bit out for vehicle mode, but other than that, it's basically just purple and green. There is these pegs on the bottom to tab it in, and no paint on it whatsoever. And then we have his gun, and this thing is just cast out of black plastic. It's quite a simple looking gun really, not too much going on. A bit of sculpted detail, but that's about it. No scope, no sight, just the plain black gun as it is. Bringing in the figure though, we can take the mixer and use these three ports, to tab it into the back right here, like so. And then if we bring in the gun, we can just plug it into his hand like so, and then he's all ready to fight alongside the rest of his brothers against the Autobots. For articulation, the head can look around as well as slightly up and down, but it is very difficult to get to due to this massive overhanging bucket thing on top of him. The shoulders can come out this far, back this far, and forwards this far. There's a swivel at the upper arm and a single jointed bend at the elbow with no wrist articulation or a swivel at the waist. Legs can come out this far, back this far, and forwards this far. Spin at the upper leg, single jointed knee, and we have some nice ankle rockers. For some robot mode size comparisons, here he is next to the Transformers Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, the Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, the Gamer Edition Ratchet, the G1 Command Class Optimus Prime, some of his Constructicon brothers. We have Scrapper, and we have Hook, and we only have one more to get until we complete this set, and they look amazing next to each other. The Marvel Legends Sam Wilson Captain America, and the Star Wars Black Series Shaq T. But without further ado, let's get into transformation. And here he is in vehicle mode, and starting with a general look, same as with all the Constructicons, he does look pretty good and definitely does look like a construction vehicle. He is mainly just green, but with some purple highlights throughout, the mixer and the windows for one, and then he does also have some silver throughout, and then there is a lot of sculpted detail front to back as well. We're taking a closer look at the vehicle mode, and starting off with the wheels, they are all pinned on, so he does roll really nicely. Spinning him round to the front, there is some silver on the grate on the front with a nice mini Decepticon logo as well, and then we have some purple for the windows. There's a lot of sculpted detail going backwards, even a little ladder on the side of the arms to get into the cab, and then we have some texturing on this platform here for if anyone's walking on there. And then at the back right here, we do have this blocky section, which is for combining into Devastator mode, but it doesn't look too great in this mode and sort of sticks out, but you can pretend it's like the funnel bit or something for the cement to come out of. From the underside, he looks pretty clean as well, nothing really showing, everything tucked away. And then if we bring in the gun, it can be plugged into either side of the arm or on the top of the cab. I like to plug it into the top of the cab because there is one scene I remember where he had a gun on the top of him that he was shooting, and with it attached he does look pretty cool. For some vehicle mode size comparisons, here he is next to the Transformers Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, the Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, the Gamer Edition Ratchet, the G1 Command Class Optimus Prime, some of his brothers again, we have Scrapper, and we have Hook, we have the Marvel Legends Sam Wilson Captain America, and finally we have the Star Wars Black Series Shaq T. And that's a wrap at our look at the Transformers Studio Series 86 Constructicon Mixmaster. A very nice update and an overall great looking figure. There is some things that could be improved, such as the articulation, but that seems to be the same with all of these Constructicons, and I'm not too bothered by it, as I do believe they are more meant to be combined into the Devastator when you have all of them, rather than having them all on the shelf in poses. But before he starts mixing things up around here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the video, why not leave a comment down below and tell me if you're looking forward to seeing the final figure and then seeing them all combined into Devastator. But without further ado, transform and roll out.